Welcome everyone, I would like to show you how to use your iPad Pro. So keep in mind this tutorial will work for any iPad Pro which does not have a home button. So if you have an iPad Pro which looks like this is the home button here which my thumb is on, then don't follow this guide. If you have an iPad Pro we have all of the bezels which are equal size all the way around, no home button, then you're good to go watching this video. Okay, so I'm going to assume you are already on the home screen, you've already set up your iPad Pro. If you have not, that's okay. I will have a tutorial on how to set up your iPad Pro. The link will be in the description. Alright, once your iPad Pro is set up, let's learn the gestures. So when you have no home button, you have to use your fingers in order to navigate the operating system. So in order to open up an app, you just tap on the app icon. In order to go and exit the app, you see this white line right here, this is the home bar. So we're going to be using that for exiting out of apps, multitasking, all that good stuff. So you're going to do a quick swipe up, okay? So you're going to swipe up and release right away with your finger. So you'll get used to this after a couple of attempts, okay? Slide up and release. Don't keep your finger held down, okay? Otherwise you can see the app won't close. You just slide up and release, this little flick on the screen and the app will close out. Now how do you do multitasking? Well, here's what you're going to do. Usually when you close out the app, you slide up and release. But when you multitask, you slide up and hold, okay? So slide up and then just bring the app and your finger to the middle of the screen and then release, okay? And now you can see the multitasking because this will show all of the apps you have open. So let's do that again. Try and get doing this as fast as possible. Slide up to the middle, release, boom, just like that, okay? And eventually you'll be able to do it very quickly, boom, just as fast as if you had a home button, okay? So slide up and release, slide up and hold, boom, just like that. Now how do you close apps from the multitasking? Well, you get the app, you go to the center here with your finger, and you just slide up, and just like that the app is closed, okay? Boom, boom. Now you can also use multiple fingers, so if you get two fingers, two apps, slide up, boom, boom. You can do as many fingers as you want, you can go crazy with it. Let's try like this, you can see, just like that, no problems closing out of all of the applications. Now I'm going to close out all the apps to show this. If you try and activate multitasking and there's no apps in the multitasking, you can see when I slide up, it kicks me out of the multitasking, okay? You can see I'm holding my finger, but it kicks me out, makes me go back to the home screen. That's because no apps are in the multitasking. Okay, how do we turn off the iPad Pro? Well, here is the deal. By default, if you just click and hold the power button, nothing's going to happen. Or Siri will show up. Now, you don't want that. You want to actually turn off your iPad Pro. So how do you do that? Well, Apple made it so you need to do a key combination. That key combination is as follows. So, click and hold power button isn't doing anything. Well, try click and hold the power button, but while you click and hold the power button, you click and hold the volume down button. Now, if you're struggling to find the buttons, okay, let's just take a look. At the bottom here, so this is the bottom, you'll see one little hole, this is for the mic port, and then you have one side which has the charger, speakers, antenna bands if you have a cellular iPad Pro, and then at the top here, right here, which the case is covering up, if I just focus it here, boom, you can see this is the SIM card tray. Then you have storage for your Apple Pencil, and then here are the volume buttons, okay, so you see volume up and down. So in order to turn off the iPad Pro, we click and hold power and volume down, okay? So furthest to the left is volume up, the one before there is volume down, so we'll click and hold them together. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Click and hold, and release your fingers from the buttons. Once you see here, slide to power off, and from there, just slide and release your finger, and it will turn off your iPad. Now in order to turn it back on, you just click and hold the power button, and you will see the Apple logo. Once you see the Apple logo, release your fingers and the iPad will turn on. Now, if you're having issues with that key combination for whatever reason, I'm going to judge you, but I'm going to show you a different way to turn off the iPad Pro. So you can actually open up settings here, find general, then find here shutdown, tap on this one, and then you'll get the exact same menu. You can slide to power off just like that. Now, an important thing to know is a forced restart. So sometimes your iPad Pro may freeze. How do you do a forced restart? So this trick, really it's complicated, but once you do it once, you should be able to get the hang of it fairly quickly. And they haven't changed this method, how to force restart, and they hopefully won't. So If you're watching, when you get a new iPad Pro, you're going to be able to use the exact same instructions. So what you're going to do is you're going to find the top of the iPad, you see volume up, volume down, and a power button. So the key combination we do is follow. We're going to click and release volume up, so click and hold is like this, but we're going to do a click and release, okay? So let's practice clicking the button regularly. So click and release volume up, click and release volume down, and then we're going to click and hold the power button, okay? So we're not going to release the power button. We release volume up, we release volume down, but we do not release the power button, okay? So let's do this together. 3, 2, 1. You have to do this fairly quickly, by the way. So 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Click and release volume up, click and release volume down, click and hold the power button. Don't release the power button here. Don't add too much pressure, otherwise your fingers may hurt, your index finger. Just keep on holding the button. Don't release. Keep it held down, you'll see a black screen. Just keep it held down. Keep it held down. And once you see the Apple logo, you can now release your hands here from the iPad. Now here is the deal. There is no area inside the settings to do a force restart. You do have to learn the key combination for a force restart. So if your iPad ever freezes, then this is definitely a tip you want to follow. Now here is the iPad Pro. If you get the latest model, has 16 gigs of RAM. So how do we do multitasking? Now multitasking does work on any iPad Pro, even the ones with 2 gigs of RAM. So any iPad Pro can follow what I'm about to show you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the first app I want to split screen multitask with, okay? And then from here, remember that home bar, we use it to close out of apps, do multitasking, but we can also use it to activate the dock. So when you're in an app, you can slide up, okay? So remember, we do that little flick to go home, then we slide up to the middle for multitasking. Well, if you just slide up maybe like 10%, above the iPad screen, you're going to see it will bring up the dock. Now this dock here has applications you place there, and you can also, by default, it should show your recent apps, okay? So if you want to add an app to the dock, what you do, go to the home screen, drag the app, and then drop it in the dock, just like that. If you want to remove the app, tap on the minus, you have the option to remove the app or remove from the home screen, okay? Just drag and drop as well, boom, just like that, okay? So let's go back into the first app. We're going to activate the dock by just sliding up 10% on the iPad screen. And then we're going to drag and drop any app from the dock. And we drag it to the left hand side or the right hand side, okay? Now I'll show you later how to use any app from the home screen for multitasking. But for now, let's do the dock as this is easier. So let's drag and then drop, boom. And now we've activated multitasking. So on the left, Firefox browser, on the right, the Twitter app. Now, if for whatever reason this is not working for you, okay, that means the app doesn't support multitasking. So let's try this with settings. You're going to notice I don't get that animation, which allows me to drop the app, okay? Left hand side, right hand side not working. And if I release my finger, it just closes the previous app. You will also see at the top, it went away fast, but it will say split view not supported. Now means this app does not support split screen multitasking. So just keep in mind, not all apps will support multitasking. If they don't, then you know what to look out for, okay? So if it looks like this, you can't drag and drop, that means the application does not support multitasking. If you can do drag and drop, and you get this animation here, okay, where the Firefox is moved out of the way for Twitter, that means you can do multitasking. Now on top of this, there is pop-out view. So let's do 2 apps. But what if we want 3 apps? How do we do that? So we're going to do pop-out view. So let's get the dock activated. Again, slide just 10%. And then you're going to drag and drop the application to the middle of the screen. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to change the app I'm multitasking with so that I can make this demonstration clearer. So let's say I want Twitter in the pop-out view. Drag and drop. Well, you see this black bar right here, okay? So in the middle, there should be a black bar. Just release your finger. And just like that, we have this app in the pop-out view. So here is the deal. From here, you see these triple dots. We can hold the dots, drag to the left, drag to the right, okay? Boom. And if we want to remove this app from the multitasking, we can just get the triple lines, slide to the right, okay? And then slide it out. So I'm going to do that again, boom. And now the app is hidden from view. Now you can always bring back the app by just sliding from right to left. Boom, just like that. So here is a little, you can use all these apps at once if you really want to, but of course this app is in pop-out view and then these apps are not. Now, one cool thing with the pop-out view is you can also use pop-out view in apps which do not support multitasking. So remember settings, this did not support multitasking, or you can put an app which does support multitasking in the pop-out view. So let's do Twitter, we just drag, drop, and because we have one app we can just drop anywhere. And you can see app and pop-out view and then the regular app right here. But keep in mind the difference is you cannot use the pop-out view app and the regular app at the same time if the regular app does not support multitasking. You can see if I try and navigate here in settings, not working, okay, but I can navigate in the Twitter. So you'd have to move the app from pop-out view out of the way, use your app, slide out, boom, just like that. Okay, a couple of tips. So you see this black bar here when you are doing multitasking. You can actually drag, you see this little white line here, you can drag, and you can actually change the size of each app, okay? So let's release here, you can see 75% Firefox, 25% App Store, or drag it 50-50, drag, release, boom, 25%, 75%, just like that. Now remember earlier I was saying you can multitask with apps on the home screen. How do you do that? Well, this feature I'm about to show you requires the newer iPadOS firmwares. You may be like, how do I upgrade? Well, it's all covered in this video, don't worry. So here is the deal, okay? We're going to see these triple dots here. If you don't see the triple dots, you need to upgrade the iPad software. If you haven't realized already, in the description there are timestamps for each part of the beginner's guide, okay? So if you just want to skip around, you need to upgrade your iPad right now, check the timestamps, boom, okay? So we're going to slide where the triple dots are, and you see now this Firefox is in the, like this. We either move it to the left hand side or the right hand side. So let's do the left hand side. And now the Firefox is in the far left hand side, okay? And it says choose another app. So the iPadOS software wants us to choose another app. This can be any app, okay? As long as it supports multitasking. So it doesn't need to be in the dock, it can be on the home screen as well. So we'll select this app and boom, just like that, we activated split screen multitasking. Now you may be thinking to yourself, well, hold up a second. You know, I put the app in the split screen view, but now I don't want to use another app for multitasking. What can I do? Well, very simple. Just tap on the app again, and just like that, if I go home, the app will not be in the side views anymore. Okay, how do we upgrade the iPadOS software? You do this by opening up the Settings app, General, just tap on General, and tap on Software Update. From here, it will say checking for update, and you'll see if any new iPadOS firmware is available. If you get a message which says your iPadOS software is up to date, then there is no new iPad software available for you. Now you also have the option here, automatic updates. So if you want to automatically download iPadOS updates, turn on this toggle. If you automatically want to install iPadOS updates, turn on this toggle. Now you may be thinking, should I turn on the install iPadOS updates toggle? Should I turn on the download toggle? So downloading iPadOS updates will happen in the background any time of the day, so it may use up your internet, may make your internet slow, so I personally turn it off. Install iPadOS updates will automatically install the iPadOS when you are sleeping, okay? How does that happen when you're sleeping? Well, it doesn't. It will just automatically upgrade the iPadOS software, you know, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. at night, so, you know, when you're not using the iPad, if you are using the iPad at that time, of course, the iPadOS software will not upgrade, but it will try when you are not using the iPad for an extended period of time. Me personally, I do turn this off, honestly, it's being real with you. Apple does planned obsolescence, so if you do want, you know, your iPad to last as long as possible, I would recommend, you know, not upgrading the software frequently. Only do it if you're having issues with the software. Now, how do we activate the control center? What does the control center do? So we're going to see at the top right, Wi-Fi, you know, the battery. We're going to slide down from the top right, and now we have the control center activated. So from here, we can use this to change the brightness, boom. And if you long press, you do get a more precise brightness control. You have dark mode, just tap it on off. Night shift, what that will do is it will just remove the blue light from the screen, and then true tone. So true tone will change the screen's colors to the atmosphere around you. So if there's a lot of blue light hitting the screen will go bluer. If you have orange lights, okay, then the screen will go more orange, but it will not be as orange as night shift. So I do recommend you turn it on. It does give you a better viewing experience. Or if you're having some issues, you can always just turn it off. I personally have it on always. And you have the volume slider, and again you can long press for the fine tune for the volume. Okay, you have the mute switch. This is called silent mode. So when silent mode is on, some apps will not play any audio even if the volume here is on. Keep in mind, YouTube videos will still play, audio still. Some other stuff will still play. So if you're having that situation, just slide the volume toggle off entirely. I personally don't use silent mode, but you may want to use it. Now if your iPad Pro has flash, which it should, you have the flash toggle here. Just tap on it and you can see the flash turns on. Boom, okay. Tap on it again, turns it off. Now you have these other options here. This opens up the camera. This creates a brand new note, okay, stuff like that. Now you can actually customize the control center. So we're going to open up settings. We're going to find control center. So we're going to slide down until we see control center. We have the included controls. These are the controls by default. And then you have more controls. So in order to add a brand new control, just tap on the plus. And these controls here, I can make this 10 hours, but you can just go through each one here. They're kind of self-explanatory. The most important one here is screen recording, okay? So I'm going to remove this here. So if you ever wanted to add screen recording, so you want to screen record your iPad Pro, just open up settings, control center, then find screen recording, tap on the plus, and now screen recording is in the control center. So from here, you slide down from the top right, and now you have the screen recording toggle. So let's long press on this one. You have a bunch of customization options. You can see here, photos. I recommend you save the recording to photos. And then you have microphone, so you can have the microphone on, which means when you're speaking while screen recording, you'll recognize that. And you can also turn it off if you would like to. So let's start the recording. We'll just tap on start recording. It's going to do a time down. And once the time down ends, you're going to see an icon which shows the recording has started, that red icon here. So every action you do on your iPad will be recorded, opening up apps, closing out of apps, all that good stuff. Do keep in mind, if you lock your iPad screen, that will stop the recording. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, if I go to social media, whatever app, it will all be recorded as long as I don't go to lock screen. Now once I'm done with the recording, you just tap on the red bar here. Sometimes it glitches out and this red bar here doesn't show up. So if it doesn't, okay, slide down from the top right and just tap on here. And you see here, screen recording video saved to photos. Now it's important to keep in mind that it may take a couple of minutes for that notification to show up if you did a really long recording, like 30 minutes to an hour. So just keep that in mind. And to view the recording, let's go to the Photos app. Boom. And you can see here's the recording. So I'm not touching the screen. When I move, okay, that is the actual video itself that was recorded. I'm not touching the screen, no magic stuff here. This is the actual recording. You can tap on the video to scrub around. Alright, let's go into some more deep dive stuff. So, how do you use the camera on your iPad Pro? So, what we're going to do is we're going to open up settings. We're going to slide down until we see camera. Boom. We're going to find here, record video. So you see you have all of the options here from 720p to 4K 60. So the general gist is the higher the toggle is, the lower quality. Okay, 720p lowest quality, 4K highest quality. Now the frame rate is how smooth the video looks like. Okay, so if you record a video at 1080p 60 fps, the video will look more smooth than 4K at 24 fps because there are more frames in a second. Now keep in mind, if you have an older iPad Pro, you may not see all of these toggles right here, so that is just something to keep in mind. Now if you want to go, Pro, you want to use the power format, tap on this, and now you also have the option to record at 25 fps. If you don't know what that is, then you don't need to worry about using it. You also have auto FPS, so in low lights, the iPad Pro will reduce the frame rate of the recording to give you better low light performance. You can turn that off, or you can have it set to switch between 30 and 60 fps Completely up to you. Now, video format control. By default, this is turned off. You can turn this on if you would like to. I personally have this one on. This allows you to change the quality of your video in the camera app itself, so you do not need to go into settings. But keep in mind, when you change the quality in the camera app itself, every time you reload the camera app, it will use the default set inside of the settings app. Now, another thing as well is formats. So by default, it will be set to high efficiency. High efficiency is the best option if you are in the Apple ecosystem, okay? So you have the iPad Pro, your phone's an iPhone, and your computer's a MacBook. Now, if you are not in the Apple ecosystem, or you have a Windows computer, you have an Android phone, you have a device which is not made by Apple, you want to change this to most compatible. So here is the deal, okay? When you take photos, when you take videos on the iPad Pro and you're set to high efficiency, it's going to use a photo format called HEIF and a video format called HEVC. Now, these formats cannot be played on Android, they cannot be played on Windows, so they're just useless, okay? They can only be played on the iPad Pro itself, your iPhone, and your iPad. But if you set this to most compatible, it will use JPEG format, most compatible format, works on any Windows, any Android. It will still work on your iPhone, still work on your iPad, and it will also record video in H.264, which again will work on all of the devices. One thing to keep in mind, if you do use most compatible, you will not be able to record video at 4K 60 FPS, okay? It will allow you, but you can see we need to change to high efficiency. And high efficiency again only works on all of the iPhones and the iPads. So just keep in mind, if you want to use the most compatible format, you are limited to 4K 30 FPS, and that is just something to keep in mind. Okay, so we're going through the settings itself. Let's go to the camera. So it seems like the camera's glitched out. So I'm going to close out the app, reopen, boom. So from here, take a picture, just tap on the camera icon, boom. Want to take a picture with the volume buttons? You can use the volume up, and you can also use the volume down to take a picture. Now, if you click and hold the shutter button or the volume up or volume down button, you can do a bunch of photos at once, okay? So you'll see this, it's called burst photos. Click and hold, you can see it's taking a bunch of photos here, you can see the number. Release the finger, and then that will stop. So if I go to the Photos app itself, you see this little preview, you can tap on that. You'll see it's a burst. You can tap on select, and you can choose your favorites here. And if you choose the favorites, the one which will not select as your favorites will be gone. How do you choose the favorites though? You tap on the photo, now it's selected as a favorite, tap on done, and you can choose to keep everything or keep only the favorites. I'm going to do that. And now all those other photos I've taken are now gone. So let's go back to the camera app here. You have the rotate button, this flips the camera, so you can see my face right here. See all the recording setup. Flip it again, boom, that's using the rear camera. You have the flash, so by default it's going to be set to auto, so if you're in low light it will use the flash. You can set this to force the flash on, okay? I'll take a picture, you can see the flash can be used, okay? And you can also set this to have the flash just always be off, even if the lighting conditions isn't the best. Then you have the timer here, so what this will do is it will delay when the shot is taken. So maybe you want to do a picture, you want it to wait 10 seconds before the picture starts. Set to 3 seconds here, 10 seconds. It's going to wait, okay, and then it's going to take the picture. It takes 10, why not, I guess. I've already shown you how to select which ones are your favorite earlier. Now you have live photo. So this may be a gimmick to you, it may not be. For me it is a gimmick. So what it's going to do is it's going to take a picture and a video at the same time. Now the video is only like 2 to 3 seconds, but let's do it right now. So I'm going to click here. It's going to say live, and once the live ends, that means the live photo has ended. So let's go to the camera Photos app. You're going to see the regular photo. Now when you long press on a photo, you can see it plays a couple of seconds of video. So if that looks cool, have it on, otherwise have it off. I personally turn it off. Now you have the camera controls here, so keep in mind, if I just tap on it, you can see I have 0.5 times zoom. If you tap on the zoom icon and you don't have 0.5 zoom, what on earth is going on? Well, what is going on is your device does not support the ultra wide. Why doesn't it support? Well, let's take a look at the back of the iPad, okay? And you see here, I have two cameras. If you have two cameras, you're going to support ultra wide zoom. If you only have one camera and a flash, that means you do not have an ultra wide camera, so you can't get the the wider zoom level. So just keep that in mind. Now, what you can do, regardless if you have the ultra wide zoom or not, is you can slide across. Okay, you can go all the way up to 5 times zoom, but keep in mind it's using digital zoom, so it's just cropping the image. Okay, so the quality may not look the best. That's just something to keep in mind. Now you have the portrait mode here. So what it's going to do is, if I just move my face to the frame, it's going to remove the background. Okay, so where my finger is, this is all background. It's going to use AI to remove the background and add a little blur. Okay, so let's just move here. You can see it's adding a little blur around my face. You can use this slider to change the effect. Boom. You can see, remove the background. When you're ready to take the picture, boom, just like that. Take a look at it. There you go. Interesting. So if I just go to the regular, okay, where it has natural light, take a look at the background now. And go to regular photo, you can see the background isn't blurred out. Take a look at the background here. I'm going to portrait, and now the background is blurred out. So the only way this wouldn't work is if your front camera system is faulty. So if you're having issues with this, front camera is faulty, just keep that in mind. Now you have square, so this just takes photos, in the square, okay. You have panorama. So here is the deal. If you want to take a really wide shot, let's go like this. Well, let's not cover the camera. You just start the shutter, okay, and then you move your iPad across. Make sure you keep with this line here. So this line is showing your tilt, okay. Just drag it across, keep on dragging, and then drag it until it stops taking the picture, or you can just tap on the shutter button here. So I'm gonna do that one more time. I think I was a bit too close to the camera. So tap this to start. This shows the tilt here. So just tilt your iPad up to move the arrow up, tilt down to move the arrow down. We're trying to aim for this yellow line here, and then just move your iPad slowly to the right, and it will do the panorama shot. When you want to stop at any time, just tap on this button here, and it will stop the picture. Okay, let's take a look at this here. Boom. Okay, it's not the best job. With some practice, you'll get good at it. Because I'm like in such a tight area, you can see everything's distorted. If you do things really slowly, you'll get this really nice and wide picture. So let's go up. You go up by just tapping up, okay. Now we have the video. So before we start the video, you can set 1 times or 0.5 times. You cannot change this while you are recording, so keep that in mind. Again, if you do not have the ultra wide camera, you're not going to be able to use this feature. Okay. We have the rotation, so we can rotate the camera here. So you can see me at the front. Rotate again. With the flash option, set it off, auto or on. Personally, I have this one off. Let's start the recording, and once you see the red bar at the top, the recording is started. So this will record obviously the video and you speaking. Okay. You also have the zoom, covered that earlier. You can just slide up, slide down. Keep in mind you are limited to only 3 times zoom compared to the photo, which is 5 times zoom. Now here is the deal. You see at the top, if you did change the camera options like I showed earlier, just in case, settings, camera, and go to record video, video format control, turn this one on. Okay, I just recommend you turn this one on, because now before you start the recording, if you tap on the icon here at the left, this will change the quality from 4K to HD. Boom. 4K is the highest quality, HD is 1080p, and you have 60 and 30. Okay, so you can switch these to however you would like. Start the recording. Keep in mind, mid-recording you cannot change the quality. that is not an option you can do. Okay. Once you stop the recording, tap on here, and you can preview the recording right here. Now you may want to be trying to scrub around, so let's go to the Photos app itself. This is where we get into the good stuff. So let's go to the Photos app here. Boom. I'm going to slide down if you brought to a photo. So if you ever need to tap on a video, just tap on it, boom, and you can see it will start playing. So in order to scrub across this video, tap in this little like square area here, and then you can slide across, boom, just like that. Now you may notice no audio is playing. That's because there's a silent mode. Tap on that to turn off the silent mode. Boom, just like that, we're playing. Okay. Now you may want to know how to edit photos or videos. So let's tap on edit, and let's take a look what we got here. So by default you have for videos the crop tool. So you can move this here to where you want the video to start and where you want the video to end. You can play to have a preview. So this white bar here, you can also move this across, play, pause, boom, just like that. Then you have here the rotation tools, so you can crop the video, you can rotate the video, boom, then you can distort the video, so this will distort vertically, okay, this will distort horizontally. I doubt you'll ever use these, but it's there if you need to. Then we have the color correction, so you can change the colors of the video, and then you have the slider for how much effect you want. So the lower the slider, the less effect is applied. Okay, so maybe you want vivid, 30%. I don't know, you can always mess around this. Then you can change stuff like the exposure, just how the image looks like, okay, with a lot of precision, highlights, shadows, all that good stuff. There is an auto button if you would like to use that one as well. And if we go here, that'll bring you back to the crop tools. Let's go to done. So save video will save on top of the existing video, so you will lose the original file. Then you have save video as a new clip. So let's just tap on save video. There we go. So we can go to edit, and if you want to revert your changes, just tap on revert. Revert to original, boom, just like that, you're back on the original version. Now let's go to the photo, let's say this one. We'll go to edit. Now because I made this in portrait mode, I can actually change the portrait mode options here by just tapping. And if I use this slider, okay, changing the effects, let's go here. Right, boom, okay. You can then change, let's go out of here. So you change the options, tap on this to change the options, and then change the aperture. You can slide here, okay. So you see the aperture is the background, boom, just like that. And you have the markup, just mark up with a pen, or I don't even know what this is, a highlighter tool I guess, pencil, eraser, all that good stuff, okay. Boom, change the color if you would like, so go here, boom, eraser, boom. This here is actually a highlight tool, so you just select using your fingers, select the stuff, boom, boom, just like that, okay. You have the ruler, so if you want to draw straight lines, just put your finger near the ruler, boom, just like that, you're good to go. Now you can also use an Apple Pencil for the markup if you would like, just keep that in mind. This here will allow you to change the custom color, and there you go. Okay, let's just tap on done. Now the image is modified. Do keep in mind all these other options here are the same as the video options. The only difference is when you go to the crop tool and the straighten tool, there is an auto option here. So auto crop, auto distort for you, okay? So if you would like to, you can do that. Alright, how do we connect the Apple Pencil to the iPad Pro? So here is the Apple Pencil. So the first step is you're going to open up settings. You're going to find Bluetooth. Just make sure Bluetooth is turned on. Now from here, what I want you to do is check you have the right model of Apple Pencil. So we're talking about iPad Pros with no home button, okay? And so your Apple Pencil needs to have a flat side on the pencil itself to be the correct model. If your Apple Pencil is curved all the way around, that means you have the first generation of Apple Pencil, which does not support these iPad Pro models. So you will need to return that one, get the second gen, because this is the second generation right here. This has the flat side. That means this is the correct model. So remember earlier, the top of the iPad Pro itself, this black bar, you're just going to plop the Apple Pencil on top, and just like that, it will be connected. So when you connect for the very first time, we'll give you a bunch of on-screen instructions. Just follow those instructions. And once you've finished following the instructions, you'll be good to go. And you can now use the Apple Pencil itself. So here is the deal, okay? You can use the Apple Pencil to control the iPad Pro, yeah? You can also go into an app, let's say this, Notes, Markup. You can use it for markup. This is pressure sensitive, okay? So more pressure, the larger it will look on screen. I'm going to increase the brush size so you can see this a bit better. Low pressure, high pressure, you can see the thickness, yeah? You can also, depending on the angle of your brush, make it thinner or thicker. So you see the angle here, thick, thin, just like that. You're good to go. Of course, I did cover all these options earlier in the Photos app. So if you ever want to know, how you change these options, just use the Photos app timestamp. All right, how do we connect Bluetooth headphones to the iPad Pro? So it's very simple. You're going to slide down from the top right. You're going to make sure that Bluetooth is turned on. So you should see this blue and white. That means Bluetooth is on. If it isn't, just tap on the toggle until you see the blue and the white. And then from here, you're going to get your Bluetooth headphones. So this could be your AirPods, could just be any Bluetooth headphones, okay? And we're going to place your headphones in the pairing mode. So when it comes to AirPods, AirPods Pro, stuff like that, if you don't know how to place these headphones into pairing mode, you will have to look up a tutorial, okay? Because there's a bunch of headphones. I can't, I'm not a magician, well, not yet. So in my case, I just need to hold down this button here to put into pairing mode. And also wait for a white LED. So I'm going to hold this down. Now have the white LED. So if you have AirPods or AirPods Pro, you're going to see here this pop up, and you just tap on connect, and it will connect seamlessly. That's just the Apple experience, right? And I'll give you these instructions. We just close out those. Now, if you don't get that pop up, that means obviously you don't have Apple headphones. So instead, you'll need to open up settings, tap on Bluetooth. And while your Bluetooth headphones are in pairing mode, you should see your device show up. Just tap on it to connect it. And then just like that, you'll be good to go. Right, this may have been a bit of a longer video, but this is how to use your iPad Pro. I've covered most of the things you need to know when using your iPad Pro. And by the end, let's be real here, I mean, you're going to know a lot of stuff, okay? I've covered how to force restart, how to turn off, how to use multitasking, how to use control center, how to screen record, how to use the camera, how to use the Apple Pencil, how to connect Bluetooth head. I've covered a lot of stuff, so if you appreciate the time I spent on this video, all one take as well, no mistakes in the video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new, and with that being said, thanks for watching, check out the end screen video right now, see you guys later, bye bye.